Hello again, everyone, and welcome back with another session of our cPanel installation configuration tutorial. So, one of the most important security configurations when you are configuring a hosting server to consider is changing the SSH port. As you see, when I want to connect to my server over here, let me show you something. When I want to just connect to my server, I don't give it any special port. I just enter this command and give my password. Let me put my password over here and shift insert to paste my password, and then I have successfully logged into my server. But look at this. There were 327 failed login attempts since the last successful login, which means 327 attacks has come to my server since I didn't change the default port of SSH. So it's gonna be so much important to change the SSH port, because if you don't do that, you're gonna have lots of brute force attacks in future to your server. Alright. So in this video I'm going to show you how to do that. Let's come downside to this part. Let me show you. Just copy and paste it over here. No, it doesn't really need to be changed. Okay, so first of all, you need to just edit a file with Nano. As you remember, on the first video of this course, I've installed Nano Editor. Let's install it to see that it has installed already and no need to install it again. So with Nano installed on your server, you can go ahead and config any file and edit any files in your Linux server. Here it is. This is /etc/ssh/sshd_config, which is my SSH configuration. So I'm going to edit this file with Nano. I'm going to copy and paste it over here, nano/etc/ssh/sshd_config. Enter this. As you can see, I have entered a file on my server which has lots of lines of configurations. So this is Nano Editor. As you can see, you can scroll up with your mouse or with your keyboard, up and down arrow key. Also, there are lots of other things like Control X or Command X on Mac, and or Control G to get help, Control J to justify, Control R to read file, and anything else. But for searching in this file, I can use Control W. Okay. As you can see, the search button come over here, so I can search for example, port. Okay, and as you can see, the first part that it has found the port is here. Okay, but it's support. What I'm searching for is this one, port 22. Okay, so I'm gonna search for 22. I see that on the first part of my file because I know where it is. That's there. But just to show you how to find this, I'm going to Control W and find 22, and yes, you can see that it has come up for me. So it has been commented, so I need to remove this hashtag and put any number that you like. For example, I'm going to put 76, might be good, or for example 66, as my host name is server 66. That's alright. So I'm going to change my port to 66. Alright. I think that's okay. What else should I do? I think nothing. So that is changing of the port, and then you should search for another thing named use DNS. It's also important to change it. I'm going to use Control W to find that. Shift insert to paste that use DNS, and Yes, as you can see, it has found this use DNS for me, which I'm going to make it a hashtag and write no for it. But before that, I'm going to Control W, enter this again to see that if that is repeated in my configuration file, that you can see at the end of the file it has been written already that use DNS is no. So always make sure that your configurations are not already exist in your file. Alright, because my use DNS no is already defined and exist in my file, then I don't need to just write it again. So for saving this file, I'm going to use Control X, and then it asks me to save modified buffer, and I'm going to say yes by just using Y button on your keyboard, Y letter I mean, and enter. As you can see, it has been completely saved. And then the next command is restarting my SSH server. Okay, so I will systemctl restart sshd.service, and my SSH has been restarted, and then systemctl restart HTTP, which will restart my web server, and that's it. If I Control D to log out from the server, now if I just use the up arrow key to get the latest command I've done, which is connecting to my server, and enter this, you will find out that this is not gonna work anymore, and you can see the connection on port 22 has been refused, which means that I need to use port 66, which I have defined right now in my configuration file. You can define any other number that you like. So let's go ahead. I am going to write -P66, alright? Then enter this, and now it asks me for a password. Just go ahead, copy your password, and paste it over here. Now, as you can see, I have connected to my server, and no failure login has been detected on my server anymore. That's how you can easily prevent some brute force attacks to your server, which is a great security consideration that you should always do when you run up and set up a server. So that's it. I hope to see you in the next video for more configuration. In the next video, we're going to install Let's Encrypt SSL. I've shown you in the previous video that SSL of cPanel, my hostname, has been completely connected and generated, and it works. But for some people, because the SSL provided by cPanel is not going to work on all TLDs, I mean all domains around the world, because of that, we're going to use Let's Encrypt SSL plugin to change the SSL, the default SSL provider of cPanel. Alright, so that's the next video subject, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.